Hello. Welcome to the Mom Life Renewed podcast. Thank you so much for joining. I'm Sylvia, I'm your host. I'm a Christian woman, mother of two, and mom Santi coach. I'm on a mission to help Christian mothers who feel overwhelmed, exhausted, to start living life they love again. And on this podcast, I'll talk about all things motherhood, faith, identity in Christ, self-care, mental health, and so much more. Stay tuned for our current episode. Hello, welcome back to the Mom Life Renewed podcast. I am so excited to be speaking to you on the first episode of 2026. Happy New Year. I'm Sylvia, I'm your host. Thank you so much for listening today. The first topic of 2026 is on the mental load of motherhood. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what in the world is that? So it's like that ongoing running to-do list that we have in our mind as moms of all the things that need to be done, the unseen work of running a household, looking after a family, looking at the multiple tasks and decisions that we have to make every single day to take care of our home, making sure that everything runs smoothly and that everyone's needs are met. As moms, we do so much, and I want to just commend you and tell you that you're doing a great job. This topic is a topic that I'm so passionate about because it doesn't get talked about enough. My mom's like, we may focus on, I'm struggling to do the cleaning, I'm struggling to do the laundry, everything just feels overwhelming, everything just feels really hard, but we can't pinpoint it to a specific difficulty that we're having. And I think the reason why I became so passionate about this topic is because I started seeing a trend a couple of years ago on moms talking about the jobs that they did, all the different things they did as a mom. There was this trend on Instagram where people were putting that I'm a cook, I'm a nurse, activity planner, personal stylist, chief financial officer, party organizer, teacher, all the different things that we did under the umbrella of motherhood. And it really made me think about how much we're expected to know and do as moms, yet many of us just feel overwhelmed. We just feel like, we're constantly having to think, even when we're sleeping, even when we're in bed, our mind doesn't stop. You constantly feel like everything is in your head and you just can't switch off. You're constantly thinking and you're not able to rest your mind. You're constantly planning, trying to remember, trying to make sure, things aren't forgotten, things for the home, things for the school, things for the shopping list, planning meals, and all these different things that we have constantly running in our minds. And we tend to put ourselves down, oh, I should know better. Why can't I keep on top of it? Why am I struggling to pray? Why am I struggling to read my Bible? When the children are sleeping, a lot of us, and based on like speaking to other moms, a lot of us turn to scrolling, binge watching, overeating or undereating. We find other ways of coping that may not necessarily be healthy or best for us. This episode, the main thing I want to focus on is just recognizing what you're doing at this moment in time. We can't make a change and we can't do anything different if we don't even know what we're doing in the first place. So what I'm going to be doing is getting you to go through an exercise, and I'll have an accompanying worksheet as well that you can download. I will leave the link in the show notes. And it's a one-page worksheet. And all I'm going to be asking you to do is look at 3 main questions. So what I want you to do is think about a typical week and write down up to 10 key roles or responsibilities that you carry out during the week. Just start with that. It's going to be on the workbook, or if you want to pause this and write it down. So just have a table with 3 columns, you know, roles and responsibilities, how each role or responsibility makes you feel, and whether you're going to do, delegate, or delete the role. Like I said, all this information will be in the worksheet. So I'm going to give you an example just so you can understand. So one of my roles that I have is singing in church, and how it makes me feel. I feel so much joy and peace when I sing. I absolutely love it. And therefore, I've made a decision that this is a role that I want to continue doing, but I'm going to do it with boundaries. So, as much as I love singing and, I lead in the choir sometimes, I've made a decision that I'm going to do it with boundaries. I want to lead the choir maybe once or twice a month maximum. And I don't want to be doing it every single week, otherwise it gets draining. So that's, for example, something, that you could write down. So write down a role or responsibility that you have, and then maybe something that you want to delete. A role that you may want to delete is doing volunteering as part of a group that maybe you volunteered for something a few years ago when you had more capacity. Now it makes you feel drained and unhappy. Therefore, you can make a decision that this thing no longer serves me and I'm going to delete it as a role. So that's just a quick whistle stop example of what you could do in terms of managing the mental load. I just want to start with awareness, because once we know what we're doing, we can then work on making a difference and making a change and adjusting things to meet our current lifestyle. And, when I think about my own life, I've had to set many boundaries and remove roles and responsibilities that were no longer serving me. There are certain responsibilities within my church, for example, that I've had to put boundaries on and make a decision that I'm not going to be able to do those things. And, not being involved in every single thing that I've been asked to do as somebody that's been a people pleaser has been extremely difficult. But I know that in the long term, it's really helped me to stand in my power and allowed me to be able to focus more on my role as a mom and do the things that I actually want to do. So I'd love to know, what are your roles and responsibilities in your everyday life? And are there any of those that you want to continue doing, delegating to somebody else, or deleting altogether? One of the things that I really want to delegate personally in this year is cleaning and laundry. I will wash the laundry, but folding the laundry and ironing is something that I am considering paying to have done, just so I can reduce that mental load. It's something that I have been struggling to do for years. I've been trying to do it by myself, and I recognize, as somebody that has had coaching and counseling for many years, I understand the power of being able to have help and not trying to do everything in my own strength. So, I also want you to reflect on things that you may not necessarily enjoy doing, that you also want to delegate to somebody else if it's within your power to do so. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Mum Life Renewed podcast. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Mum Life Renewed podcast. I hope that it was helpful to you. I am excited to announce the Christian Mum Chat, which is returning on the 29th of January 2026 at 9 p.m. UK time. It's a space for you to reconnect with yourself and fellow Christian mothers. The link will be in the show notes. I look forward to seeing you there. Take care. Bye for now.